You've probably heard the words called and chosen thrown around, right? Sometimes people even use them like they mean the same thing. But what if they don't? What if understanding the real difference between them is one of the biggest keys to unlocking your purpose? Well, stick with me because we're about to dive into a distinction that could seriously change how you view your entire faith journey. It all really boils down to this one super powerful and, let's be honest, kind of unsettling statement from Jesus himself. Many are called, but few are chosen. I mean, what does that even mean? Is it supposed to sound exclusive? Is it a warning? This single verse has puzzled people for centuries, and today we are going to tackle it head on.
So what's the deal with this verse? Should it make us anxious, or is it actually a call to something deeper? Well, let's find out together.
Okay, to really get to the bottom of this, we have to look at the context. I mean, this famous line didn't just come out of nowhere, right? It was actually the powerful punchline to one of Jesus's most dramatic stories, the parable of the wedding feast.
All right, so here's the story in a nutshell. You've got a king who's throwing this huge, amazing wedding feast for his son. He sends out these fancy invitations to all the important people, the who's who. But can you believe it? They all blow him off, making up lame excuses. So the king gets frustrated and does something radical. He tells his servants, forget them, go out into the streets and invite everyone. Good, bad, it doesn't matter. But here's the twist. When the hall is packed, he spots a guy who isn't wearing the proper wedding clothes and has him thrown out. This whole story is the perfect setup for understanding called versus chosen.
Okay, so let's break this down, starting with the first part of that verse. Many are called. This is what we can call the universal call. So, the call? Think back to that king just throwing the doors of the feast wide open. That's it. It's God's huge, universal invitation to every single person on the planet. It doesn't matter who you are, what you've done, or what you think you have to offer. The invitation is totally free. No strings attached.
The prophet Isaiah captured this idea so perfectly. He wrote, "Come, everyone who thirsts, come to the waters, and he who has no money, come, buy and eat." You see, this isn't some exclusive club invitation. It's a call to the spiritually broke, the thirsty, the people who know they're running on empty. It's as inclusive as it gets.
All right, but what about that second part? The few are chosen. This is where things get, well, a lot more personal and profound. See, being chosen is way more than just accepting the invitation and showing up to the party. Here's the heart of the matter. Being chosen means a divine selection. It's God looking at someone and intentionally setting them apart for a very specific purpose in his huge eternal plan. This is where that massive universal invitation gets super personal and focused. And get this, the Apostle Paul takes this idea somewhere truly mind-blowing. He says God chose us in him before the foundation of the world. Just think about that for a second. This wasn't a last-minute decision. It's a thought-out, intentional act of love that was woven into the fabric of reality before time even started. Wow. So, let's really see the difference here, side by side. The call, that's the wide-open gate, right? A universal invitation, just asking for you to say yes. But the choice, that's a specific path, a divine selection that comes with a real, unique purpose. The difference in both the scale and the why behind it is huge. Now, this whole thing naturally leads to a massive question, maybe the biggest one of all. So, is it our choice or God's? Where does our free will fit into all this? Is being chosen just something that happens to us, or is it a choice that we actually make? Well, on one hand, the Bible is super clear that we definitely have a part to play. I mean, you've got Joshua telling the people of Israel, choose this day whom you will serve. So God puts the invitation out there, but he gives us the dignity and the responsibility of making a choice. But then you flip the coin and you get this really profound statement from Jesus himself. No one can come to me unless the Father who sent me draws him. Whoa. This kind of pulls back the curtain and shows us the divine side of the mystery. It suggests that even our ability to want to respond is a gift that God initiates first. So, how do these two things both be true at the same time? Well, it's a beautiful, divine paradox. Think of it like a partnership. God works inside us, giving us the very desire and the ability to choose him. And then it's our job to work out our salvation, to actively live out the life he's offered. It's kind of like this divine dance between his lead and our response. Look, this isn't just some dusty old theological debate, okay? Understanding the difference between being called and being chosen has huge real-world implications for how we live our lives, how we connect with God, and how we even think about our purpose. Let's really break down what this looks like in practice. Being called is that invitation to belong, right? And that often looks like doing service for God. But being chosen, that's deeper. It's being set apart for a purpose, and it comes from a place of salvation in God. See the shift? It moves us from just being busy with activity to living a life of real responsibility and producing something meaningful.
Jesus makes this crystal clear to his disciples. He tells them, "You did not choose me, but I chose you and appointed you that you should go and bear fruit." Being chosen isn't about getting a VIP pass and then just kicking back. No, it's an active commission. It comes with a mission to produce something that lasts, something with eternal value. You know, the story of Mary and Martha is a perfect picture of this. Martha was running around, super busy, doing all this service for Jesus. But her sister Mary, she was just sitting at his feet, listening. And Jesus said Mary had chosen the better part. She prioritized the relationship with him over the busy work for him. That right there is the heart posture of the chosen. And underneath this whole idea of being chosen, holding it all up, is the single most important factor in all of faith. And what is it? Grace. This is not a status you can earn. It's not a prize you can win. I mean, this incredible verse in Ephesians just says it all. For by grace you have been saved through faith. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. It's a gift, plain and simple. It's not from anything we've done. And that means nobody gets to brag about being chosen. It's just a stunning, completely unearned gift from God. Okay, so let's put a bow on this. Here are the key takeaways. The call, that's the big, wide-open, universal invitation. The choice, that's a specific, purposeful selection. It's a partnership, a dance between God's amazing grace and our yes. And being chosen, it means you're being set apart for a mission that really, truly matters for eternity. And so that brings us right back to you. We're left with this really personal, unavoidable question. The call from God has gone out to you. That's a fact. But the choice to live out this chosen life, a life set apart, full of deep purpose, well, that's a decision you have to make every single day. The invitation is in your hands. So, what's your answer going to be?